So we're C Cubed, and I have a question for everyone. Who here goes to coffee shops? Show of hands. So we all go to coffee shops, right? So imagine you go to your favorite neighborhood coffee shop, and along one wall, you can see your friends in Los Angeles drinking their morning cup of coffee, and you have an interface with which you can creatively interact with them. That is what we at C Cubed would offer you. We would offer you an experience that enables you to creatively collaborate with people across a digital screen within a coffee shop in 2 locations. So this is our platform. This is the way that our platform would look. People would be able to access it on their digital devices. And there's basically 3 narratives that we've established in which people could interact through that platform. The first one, John is a writer in New York. He's writing a short story. He's having trouble sort of finding an ending. So he puts it up on the platform. He's writing it as he's in a coffee shop. And Max in LA, he's also a writer, actually helps him. And together, they manage to produce something creative. Second storyline. Maggie, she's a little bit bored. She's just sitting drinking her coffee. She sees somebody wants to play checkers. This platform, this experience enables her to interact with somebody across the globe that she would have never met otherwise and potentially form a connection. Third narrative. Jane is a designer. She is working on a project, but she needs some feedback. Other people on the platform can jump on and actually give her feedback when they're actually across the world in a different coffee shop. The space. It's really just like any other coffee shop, except that one wall is a big, long digital screen that lets you, it's a window into another coffee shop on the other side of the world, on the other side of the country, anywhere. So our execution strategy would be through 2 flagship stores in the United States, and then 3 additional global partnerships around the world, through which we would license out our experience. So how do we make money? Right now, coffee shops only make money through beverages and food. They need to sell physical things in order to make money. Through licensing out our technology to them, we would add 2 additional revenue streams, in addition to actually adding an exponential amount of customers to their existing customer base. And our revenue would actually come in through the licenses. And that's it.
So what do you think the main challenges to adoption are for your product? Is it a product or a service?
So the way that we would like to execute it is through our flagship, and in order to establish a baseline for the experience, and in order to ensure an execution that's been established before, and the licensing would then occur later through finding coffee shops around the world that would want to take advantage of our technology and experience, and that would occur through sort of a physical installation. But
yeah, I mean, so the main thing that we're really providing is that platform, right? And then the window that you mentioned previously to the other coffee shop, which takes the place of like a wall in a typical coffee shop. Does that make sense?
It does. So my question is, what's the biggest barrier to adoption?
Right. So I mean, the way that we see it is basically that the biggest challenge is that currently a lot of people are going into coffee shops and don't think of it as first being a place where they're going to interact with somebody new. We want to introduce that experience. And what we found from doing our research was that if you provided a platform that allowed for it and made it very easy, so he mentioned like the 3 ways that you would do that, then people were much more open to it and really were excited about the opportunity to meet people globally.
Yeah, so is the business you're in the coffee shop business, or is it something else? Because what additional revenue or uplift are you getting out of this extra experience versus just having to have a successful coffee shop selling coffee, donuts, and all the other stuff?
Right. So firstly, so as we were mentioning to Mr. Mosher, the challenge is really getting this noticed as being a beneficial service or product, right? The platform in which you can interact with people. In order to prove that concept, we think it's important to create our own 2 flagship stores and allow other coffee shop owners to see the model in action and see it working. The way that we're creating additional revenue for them is by providing them with this product then, which allows them to receive advertising revenue as companies are basically powering the engagements, and by what we see as global events. So you've got this wall that is now in coffee shops, globally, right? Through which you can host events like having a YouTube performer that can be in London, but performing technically live in all the other coffee shops that are in the network.
Did you think about what would happen if you partnered as opposed to build coffee shops and maybe looked at other places where people are sitting idle, like airports?
So this is something that sort of came out of our research. People spend a lot of time already in coffee shops, whether that's productive or whether that's sort of sitting around people watching. And we felt like using this coffee shop model would be sort of a very good way to introduce that concept. Yes, it could likely be scaled to other locations as well, but we would like it started in that location where people are already physically there.
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys.